We don't actually do anything. I have a constant running joke that I just drive Matt around to pick up beers from all the breweries that he likes to go to. Wherever we go, he just leaves with a case of beer, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Am I actually like working, or am I just driving you around town to get beer?
Hey, what's up, Vox and Hops heads? I'm Matt, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, brought to you by Sound Talent Media, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. I hope you've been having a great week so far. I most certainly have been, because I'm just so damn excited about Vox and Hops Brewtal North America. Now, what exactly is Brewtal North America? Throughout the week of June 21st to the 25th, 22 unique collabs will be dropping all across the United States and Canada. I have curated these unique brews experiences for the metal community. I'm so excited about this. I have paired 22 Vox and Hops alumni with metal breweries to create unique brews. I'm so damn amazed at the amount of people that have been working together, collaborating together to make Brewtal North America possible. I am so excited for this to launch so that I can see a bunch of wonderful humans all across North America enjoying life, metal, and craft beer. It's amazing. Now, before we jump into today's episode, I would just like to ask you to follow the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast on the podcast platform of your choice. But more than that, I'm also asking you to rate it and write a review. Why do I want you to do that? It's because when people are looking for a new podcast to listen to, what do? They scroll down, they look at those reviews, and if those reviews are positive and make the podcast sound amazing, well, they're obviously going to give that podcast a chance. So if you write a review for the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, you could actually be the person that sways someone into becoming a new Vox and Hops head, and that would be something that I would truly, truly appreciate. Now, today's episode was recorded last Thursday at the Vox and Hops Thirsty Thursday virtual hang. We had an absolute blast. You should have been there because it was just super sick and super fun. This is the chat that happened at the beginning of that hang. On today's episode, I'm with two very important people for the Vox and Hops team. I'm with Chris Kells of The Agonist and Mihaela Petrescu. This is Vox and Hops episode number 271.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today, I am with Chris Kells and Mihaela Petrescu, and we are recording this interview live at Thirsty Thursday. I am super stoked to hang out with you. We've been seeing a lot of each other because you have just recently joined the Vox and Hops family, been helping me out immensely with the Brewtal North America project going on, with all of my collabs that have come out recently. We've been hanging out a lot, which makes me really happy because it makes me feel like life is coming back to normal. Let's start with a very easy, simple, how are you doing tonight? And we'll start with Kells. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I get a lot of work done these days. And trying to juggle Brewtal North America along with other daily tasks and other jobs at the same time. So good, lots of work, but can't complain, man. It's super fun and having a great time meeting all kinds of new people and trying all kinds of new beers every week. And it's fucking awesome.
And he still manages to look this damn good when he's that busy. Mihaela, how are you doing? How are you handling everything?
Good. I'm good. Same for me. I mean, I don't know. I've been really busy, but I also do photo retouching and photography in general in life beside our project. So I'm kind of like having a mix of all kinds of jobs, but it's fun. It's fun. I'm happy to be busy during a pandemic. So yeah.
It is. It has been nice to be with you. Let's dive into the darkness. I like to go here. How did you cope with the shitty year of 2020, which is now behind us? You take it. Go for me, Mihaela. I know you had so much going on, so much in store, everything in the works, and then the pandemic took it all away. So talk to us about that.
Okay, where should we start now? Are we starting January 2020?
Because I know you were like revamping your entire life plan. So
yeah, okay. So starting from the beginning, I was a photographer for War, right, for the War magazine. But anyway, I stopped working for them. So I was like, what I'm going to do with my life, because I'm shooting shows. I'm never going to stop doing that, right? So I decided to make my own brand. I had everything ready to launch. right before the pandemic. So basically, I was about to launch my website, my whole plan for my branding, and many other stuff. And a week maybe before that, the pandemic hit really hard in Montreal. Basically, that's when we got all our shows canceled and everything got canceled and everything stopped, basically. So that's pretty much what happened beginning of 2020 for me. And everything is kind of on pause since that, because there's no kind of point to really launch a whole project when it's more based on the live industry, like live shows, like events, life, right? So that's pretty much it.
Absolutely. All people that worked in live show industry really got hit the hardest. There's no, you can't sell merch for yourself. You can't do the side hustles of live streams. You can't photograph a live stream event. But a video of you doing that might be funny. Of you photographing your TV in your living room. How about you, Kells? How about you, Kells? Tell me about your 2020.
It came to a screeching halt. Obviously, we had just come home from Europe right before the holidays on a big tour with Ginger, and then we were getting ready to head out again in the United States with Flesh God Apocalypse. And that came to a screeching halt. And then I don't know, I was working a shit ton because video work was still like thriving and just everybody wanted videos, and we kind of just made it happen throughout the pandemic, more so like on the corporate side. So I was working like crazy weeks, like 120, 150 hour weeks, like absolutely insane.
Wow.
And it really like kind of took a toll on me, took a toll on my brain. I wasn't even picking up my instrument anymore, kind of thing, because of like COVID and all that. And then eventually things started to get better. You know, it was kind of worked my way out of it in my own head. And we started recording again and writing ideas and everything like that. And so a new EP for the Agonist is in the works. And then I decided to completely get away from corporate video stuff and go back into working with bands. And then that's when I jumped on with you to do like Vox&Hops stuff and like to try and get in touch with more bands and everything. And I'm still doing like a little bit of corporate stuff here and there, but you know, not working 150 hours a week anymore, but still working a shit ton. But I'm happy with what I'm doing now. You know, it's like the videos and that kind of work means something to me, just like the music means something to me. It's like I wouldn't drive and travel all the way across the world on no sleep if I didn't have a passion for doing that, you know. So it goes hand in hand with video work and music itself.
Absolutely. Vox&Hops is all about hanging out with my metal friends, talking about their lives and music and craft beer. Now, what beer are we going to be sharing virtually tonight? Mihaela, go first.
My God. So thank you for helping me choosing beers, Matt. That was really helpful. So this one... Oh, it was. So just to add on this, I don't drink beer anymore. I only drink non-alcoholic beer. I used to drink way too much beer, so I kind of stopped with the pandemic. So Matt helped me choosing some non-alcoholic beer. Microbrasserie À la Fût. Can you guys see? Mm-hmm. This one is a watermelon one. So I didn't try this one yet. But this one, I tried it last week. It's a strawberry beer. I love it. I tried it. It was good. Thank you, Matt. That was a really good idea. So
absolute pleasure, of course. And both of those brews, Rouge de L'Anse makes, which is brewed out of Ras L'Bock, downtown Montreal, totally changed their brand to create non-alcoholic brand to stay alive throughout the pandemic. And killer, and that's a sour watermelon one. They do a whole bunch of them, and the raspberry one is from Barbarie from Quebec City. So damn good. Kells, what are you drinking tonight?
A lot of stuff. I still do drink alcohol, a lot of it. I figured I'd start the night off with a shitty Corona. It always washes down real good. Then from that I would move on to this pub brewski, this Universe Cascade Pale Ale, which is fantastic. Then from there, I'm going to move on to a fermentor beer, the Bond Scotch. And then from there, I'm going to move on to another fermentor beer, which is the Dime Bag Barrel. I was lucky to snag my hand on that one.
That is really good, that one, yeah.
Then I got another brewski beer. It's the Barn Burner Quad IPA, 12%. Whew.
That's a collab.
Let's wash all that down. Another Corona.
That Barn Burner's a collab with Wood Brothers too. It's supposed to be really good. Since
Man, that thing kicks your ass. I had it the other night. Shit, man.
Since there are two of you, I'm tackling a challenge, something that's been in my fridge for a few months now, that has been waiting for the right moment to drink it. I am going to be drinking 2 beers because there's 2 guests, and I'm not making a habit out of this, but this is a special occasion. So this is a Microbrasserie À la Fût. It's their Rouge de L'Anse, which is a collab with Ras L'Bock, right? So there's this version of it, and then I have Ras L'Bock's version of it, which is their L'Anse de Mékinac. So basically what it is that they each brewed their own style of beer, and then they gave each other barrels, and then they made their own blends, and then they made their own version of the same beer, but they're different because they blended them differently. The Ras L'Bock one comes at 6.6%, and the À la Fût comes in at a lower 5.4%. So it's cool how they did this. I love À la Fût. I love Ras L'Bock, so we're in for a good night. I'm going to open these up. I'm going to pour these out. Mihaela, you don't drink anymore, and Kells, I've already asked you this question. Mihaela, what was your very first beer? Do you remember your very first beer?
My God. I just remember it was a shitty beer. So I just remember, but do you guys remember Cafe Chaos?
Of course I do, yes.
Okay, well, that's what it was, but I can't remember what it was. But it was not an amazing beer, and I got really sick that night, so yeah.
They used to serve a lot of Boreal, I remember.
Did they?
But when Boreal didn't have good beers.
That's because Gabriel Dulon was not there yet.
You're drinking them at the same time, Matt? Oh, okay. I didn't catch that part.
Me neither.
So this is the Rouge de L'Anse from À la Fût, and this is the Ras L'Bock version of the same beer. They look alike. The Ras L'Bock version seems a little bit more red. Cheers to you both, and cheers to everyone with us tonight at Thirsty Thursday.
Cheers, everyone.
Ooh, I love it. The wild, aged in oak, amazing. Classic À la Fût, that complex woody flavor. So much going on. I love it. And then the Ras L'Bock, it's totally different nose. So interesting. Ooh, it's way more spicy. Totally different. Very interesting. Kells, since you are a returned Vox and Hops alumni, I'd like to ask this question normally to kick things off. How has your craft beer palate evolved since the first time we did an interview together?
What did we talk about in that interview? I remember we discussed like a little bit of like lagerbier. I don't think smoothie beers was really a thing.
Well, it probably was, but not in your life yet.
Yeah, not in my life yet. I feel like that got introduced to me from Masorum a little bit. And then even more so when we went to Brewski and we did the Brewtal Juice collab, because I was just like, okay, this is like a whole new world kind of thing. It's not something that I'm like still 100% like my go-to kind of thing, but whenever I see something like that, I'm like, oh, I should get it and share it with somebody. Whereas if I have like a double dry hop IPA, I'm like, I'm getting it for myself. It's mine. And actually too, after talking about all the Brewtal North America stuff and everybody's saying that they don't care what time of season it is, a stout is a stout, even if it's like 30 degrees outside. I 100% agree with that. I think a stout goes perfect any time of day.
Yeah, when in doubt, one more stout.
But I still enjoy my shitty beer every once in a while. You know, it's like, let's say you had a hot day in the sun working outside or something like that. You know, a crappy Corona or a Grolsch is just going to do just fine.
Yeah.
I'm extremely lucky to have you both as a part of my team right now. I think it's just, I thank whatever powers that be that you guys both reached out to me and we made this happen. The story behind it, I'm not sure everybody knows. I would like to showcase that right now if you guys are interested in talking about that. So basically, when I launched Brewtal North America, the idea in my mind was that I was going to have these mini docs. So I started having meetings, and one of the first meetings I had was with the agonist and Le Fermenteur, because they are very close friends of mine. Danny was episode number 1 of Vox and Hops. The Fermenteur Patrick was episode number 3. So it's people that I trust and that I can throw crazy ideas at, and I don't care if they tell me, no, you're an idiot, this is not going to work. So basically the first pairing that I reached out to, is this going to work? So we had a meeting, and then what went through your mind, Kel? And I was like, I'm going to do mini docs. And in my mind, I was going to pitch it to the Thirsty Thursday gang to help me. It's like, who here can help you make videos? And then the next day, I got a message from Kells. Take us through that mindset of going through a Zoom meeting with me, and then the next day reaching out to me.
I guess, you just mentioned like a mini doc kind of thing about this whole Brewtal North America thing. And I was like, that sounds kind of overwhelming for Matt to try and take that on. And it looked like you weren't really sure, I guess. And then after the call, I kind of thought about it, and I was like, well, I kind of don't really like what I'm doing right now. So maybe this could help shift gears back into something that I actually do enjoy. But I also thought too, well, maybe if I don't want to shift gears, do I have enough time to take this on as well? And I was just like, I slept on it, and I was like, no way, I don't have enough time to sleep on this. And then I just, on a whim, just messaged you, just being like, who's taking care of all this? Because I kind of want to be a part of it, And then that's kind of just how it went.
I was so relieved to get that message. I was like, Jessica. Kells just wrote me. It was so funny.
Well, also, I had already done a video for you before with Heavy Montreal and Nick Farkas.
That's right.
And I had a lot of fun doing that with you. And it was, I just enjoy working with you. And I was like, this sounds like a lot of fun. And I think it could be something even bigger than what Vox and Hops has already turned into. And I was like, I want to be a part of this. Whenever I see like a value in something and something that's going to like get bigger, whether it's like, it gets you bigger, the whole Vox and Hops thing bigger itself, not even talking about money or just like, and getting myself out there. Well, it's like, I kind of want to be a part of it, because then in the future you'd be kicking yourself just being like, why didn't I offer to help, kind of thing.
I'm very, very grateful that you did. And it was Kells' idea really to reach out and include Mihaela. So take us through that mindset to bring in a photographer.
You said something and I was just about like, we need photos for this. And I was like, no way can I do photos. Like, no way in hell. And I was like, I think I was talking to Mihaela that day actually. And I was just like, we should ask Mihaela, because I was already talking about like I've talked about working with you so many times anyways. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, we need to ask Mihaela, because I know she'll be down. And she already knows like the metal world, and pretty much every brewery that we go to, she runs into somebody that she already knows from all the shows that she shoots and everything like that. So also it's like, she's an amazing photographer. She's an amazing person to be around. And then just like, you have that special vibe that you bring in and people feel comforted to already be around you. It's like, it's a win-win situation,
I am so happy. So happy. How about you for you, Mihaela, to join the Vox and Hops family? What was your mindset and approach towards that?
I love it. So a couple of things here. So first, I'm so glad to work with you two guys. I mean, exactly what Chris was saying. For so long, we're talking of working together on things, and like, life just happens. We were just busy, both of us. And like, so now it was the opportunity that we can finally work together on a project. Also, you and me, Matt, we worked on some stuff together. I mean, interviews and stuff, how many things with different people, So I was just
the original Vox and Hops photo shoot at Brasserie Haricana. Mihaela took those shots. So my original promo shots for the podcast was Mihaela. She was always the first person that I reached towards when I needed photography. So just so stoked to have you both together. We've done some cool things so far. The Brutal Juice, the Vox and Over Hops, the Black IPA.
We don't actually do anything. I have a constant running joke that I just drive Matt around to pick up beers from all the breweries he likes to go to. Wherever we go, he just leaves with a case of beer. I'm like, what are you doing here? Am I actually like working, or am I just driving you around town to get beer?
Which is why I'm very happy that only one of them drinks, because I share as much as possible.
I'm very happy that you share the love with me.
I'm so excited. So now, what are the next biggest challenges to get Brewtal North America together, finished, launched, for yourself, it's mostly Kells that has a lot of work to do. So I want to see how he's handling the stress of getting all these mini docs, because there's basically 22 mini docs for the breweries and the bands, and then there's the 2 sponsors that we're trying to do a video for Yakima Chief Hops, which you finished today and it's amazing, and Heartbeat Hot Sauce.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of, well, at first it was getting a grasp of everybody and all the bands and all the breweries, and now it's kind of pushing some of the bands that are maybe like a little bit late on sending us some footage or something like that. And, we can only push so much, or just like, the Agonist, we were at Le Fermenteur last weekend and I realized I forgot to film something. So I'm like, all right, great. So I'll have to work around that, but I also know that getting footage from a lot of other bands too, that's going to be like, it's just going to be a giant jigsaw puzzle and trying to put it all together, so that's the biggest hurdle to get over, but it's fun. And I know it's going to be amazing, and it's not, it doesn't have to be, something that's going to be at an award ceremony or anything like that. It's just supposed to be fun and a little extra promo piece for everybody to see about a band and go try their amazing beer. And that's it pretty much. I know the Agonist is going to have a cool episode. I know Pete there we're going to have an awesome episode. Cryptopsy's going to have an amazing episode. All the people that put the effort into it, it's going to be fucking awesome, and I can't wait. And even the people that didn't put a lot of effort into it, I'm still going to try and make something fucking amazing, and it's going to be what it is. Absolutely.
But you're saying effort, but it's also some people are very busy, and we understand that. Yeah. But it is an opportunity for you to showcase something really cool. So that opportunity is in the brewers' hands and the band's hands. And if they feel comfortable sharing stuff with us, we would definitely make something super sick. But we'll make something amazing nonetheless.
If it was just me in the Agonist, I'd be a lazy fuck and nothing would have gotten done. I understand. There's a lot of life that gets in the way for these types of things.
Is there a particular collab for either of you that excites you the most?
I was at Brewski the other day, and I was pretty stoked on a Curion's beer. They're doing a coffee coconut stout.
Amazing.
And man, yeah, I love everything that comes out of Brewski, and I was just like, I was there for the creation of it, just like Brewtal Juice too. So it's you feel like you're part of something. And well, obviously, I'm stoked for the double dry hopped IPA for the Agonist as well with Le Fermenteur, because we also got to be part of the brew process and everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mihaela, I know you don't drink it, but is there a particular pairing that excites you? Or if you're a fan of one of the bands, or...
Well, this is funny, but like, absolutely yours, guys. But the Cryptopsy and the Agonist one. Like, I want to see that. I can't wait to see that. And also the Fermenteur, because they're my friends, right? So that too. I'm waiting to see that.
Amazing. I'm so excited at everything that we've created together. Let's turn the tables over and open up the floor to the Thirsty Thursday gang so they can ask you some questions. First off, raise your digital hand if you would like to say hi, want to ask a question in particular. First up, we have the person I was just about to talk about. We have De Vitesse Philippe. Thank you so much. He wrote all of the music that you're hearing.
Oh, sick.
The mini docs that are happening and the Brewtal Juice and all of the stuff that Kells and Mihaela have been creating for Vox and Hops recently. Philip is the one that created all the music, and he does it so damn fast. I'm always blown away by, he had given us, it's amazing.
I have my guitar right on. Maybe I'm writing. I don't know.
He had given us a few tracks, and then I was like, Kells was like, we need more. And I was like, how many more? And he's like, 10 more songs. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. And I asked him, and then he gave it to me in a day, in like 25 hours maybe from me asking to getting it. Amazed. Gopher, do you have a question, Philip?
Okay, so the question would be a 3-part question, because like I wanted to ask for all of you, but I learned that Miha drink non-alcoholic beers. So I will begin with Miha. If you have a non-alcoholic beers with your name on it, who do you want to do it? And what would it be? What style of non-alcoholic you want? And I will do the other question, and you can answer after that. For Chris, if you have one brewery to choose for a collab, which brewery? And for Matt, you did 3 of them, so I will ask you a Quebec City brewery.
Okay, that's easy. Yeah.
So let's do it in order with Miha and Chris.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if it would be like a kind of beer, but I would want a non-alcoholic beer with coconut and pineapple.
Ooh. Like a pina colada.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Does that exist, guys?
I don't think
non-alcoholic
so.
would be hard. Like a peanut. A lot of the ones that they do like that, there'll be like a smoothie sour would be more.
Yeah.
Very cool. How about you, Kells?
Yeah.
You have to say La Fermenteur because they're going to listen to this, but after that you can say something.
I wasn't even going to say a brewery. I was just going to say, because Mihaela didn't say a brewery. Definitely, I would have to go with a stout for sure, and it would be bourbon barrel aged with like coffee and chocolate or something like that. Because to this day, I still think the Kentucky Bastard is like one of my favorite stouts of all time. That, and I had the privilege of trying black metal. We spoke about this, Matt, a couple of weeks ago. Black metal from Jukebox, and that was right up there too. So like, I find when you find a good stout, it's like, oh yeah, you got like something good, you know. And actually, I'm so stoked to try out the Dimebag Barrel because I've heard nothing but good things, and I've never tried it. So yeah, it would have to be stout, bourbon barrel aged, coffee, chocolate, and maybe we'll try to find something else to fit in there too.
For myself, Quebec City is so on fire. It's hard to name just one. There is one brewery that has been very nice to the podcast that one of the collabs as a part of Brewtal North America has been brewed at as a contract brewer, brewed there, would be Brasserie Générale. I feel like they nail every style. They just kill it. So I would love to work with them to create something unique that Philip can walk to go get and drink too many of and have to walk back home, you know?
And a style and a name. Let's go with a name for you.
That's so hard. I have so many in the works, you know that. Quebec, je vous aime. a double IPA or everything.
Québec, j'aime mon public et mon public m'aime.
Or, you know what would be really cool, and this is something that I would like to do, is call a beer a tutski, which is basically in Quebec French, it means whatever is left. So when you're at your house, like sometimes I'll serve dinner to my kids, and it's tutski, and it's a tutski reste.
No, it's tutski. It's Tusky.
Okay.
Tusky rest, yeah.
And it means everything that's left. So I would like to challenge a brewery to make me a beer with whatever they have left. You know, like that little bit of hops that's left in this bag, whatever malt is left from that brew. I think that would be an interesting collab idea.
Yeah, that could be good.
Scrape some dirt off the top of the bar. We threw that in there. All kinds of things.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Philip, and thank you for the music, and I'm excited to have
if you need more, ask me.
Kells is saying yes. Send Matt more. Up next, we have Jorge.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Chris. Hi, Mihaela.
Hi.
A couple questions. First, for Mihaela, as a photographer of bands, of live music, what's been your favorite gig or your favorite band to photograph live?
Wow. Okay. That's a hard question. Now, I'm going to go with my favorite band and the favorite gig because that's two different things. Okay. So my favorite one was obviously the 70,000 tons of metal. Yeah, in January, I was the 70K photographer. It was one of the best experience I had ever as a photographer. I mean, it's just out of this world, and it's something totally different from what I did before. Even the music festivals, it was totally different than that. So that's what I would say for the gig. But for the band, that's a hard one because, you know, it can be cool to shoot some small bands as cool. Like it was cool to shoot Madonna, you know, Coldplay, like Rammstein, like huge shows that sometimes is just nice visually. But I don't like the music as much, you know. But one of the also the coolest shows I shot was at Wacken in Germany. The stages at Wacken are so huge, but the shows are also so huge. It was amazing. So I would say more about the gigs than the shows, because the shows, like there's a lot of bands that I really like to shoot. And usually, it's never necessarily the bands you really love the music. Sometimes it's band that I'm not really interested in the music, but visually it's amazing. Like the show is totally amazing. So that's pretty much it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
And now a question for both Matt and Chris. Thinking of all these amazing collaborations that are on the way, right? All these brews that are going to be coming. I'm already going crazy thinking of the logistics of what the hell am I going to do to get all these fucking beers somehow, because I want to try them all, and that's going to be a really complex matter.
This was super fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to keep hanging out, but not with you guys listening. Kells, Mihaela, it's a true pleasure, true honor to have you as a part of the Vox and Hops family. I raise my glass. I encourage everyone else to raise their glass to them. It would be impossible to do what I'm doing without their help. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, I love it.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. You know that I love and appreciate that. Man, did we ever have a blast this night. It was so much fun. I love hanging out with these two. They're always just so full of energy, and if ever I'm feeling a little bit down, they always uplift me, and I really enjoyed sharing that energy with the rest of the Thirsty Thursday gang. If you do not know either of these two wonderful humans, go check them out on their socials. I have put all of their pertinent links in the description of this podcast episode. I love them to death, and I can't wait to keep working with them, to keep doing amazing things. We have cool projects in the works. Beyond Brewtal North America, I can't wait to start working on those with these wonderful humans. If you enjoyed this Vox and Hops episode, you should sign up to the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast mailing list. You can do that by going to my website, voxandhops.com. That's VOXANDHOPS.com. And when you do that, you shall receive one email a week containing all of the details of everything that has happened throughout the past week in the world of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, including all the details for any episodes which I dropped throughout that past week, if I've been a guest on someone else's podcast, any information about any cool projects I'm involved with, such as Brewtal North America, as well as the links to the future Thirsty Thursday virtual hangs, and the updated links to the Brewtal Awakenings playlist, which is available on both Apple Music and Spotify, and is curated by my man, Jerry Monk, the metal architect himself. So please do me a favor, sign up to the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast mailing list, because there's just so much going on in the world of Vox and Hops right now. I would hate for you to miss a single thing. The Vox and Hops Metal Podcast is brought to you by Sound Talent Media. I have one more episode coming up tomorrow, but until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox and Hops hits.